Is it true that you think you're the better twin?
I mean, I didn't think we were gonna go there, but
Was it true that Michelle Visage was talking to you guys?
I mean, yeah, like I think it's out there. I don't know if I ever told the full story. I don't know how she goes to bed at night.
They all are wanting to get followers too. They're all wanting to get these brand deals too.
I think that's what people don't realize. Any judge on a show, it's like they're trying to have their sound bites and have their moment and get paid too.
And I'm not even gonna be, well, I'll be shady because you know what, Miss Sugar has to tap in because if they're coming for Miss Spice, then Miss Sugar has to come out.
It seemed like the impetus to separate a bit was on Sugar's behalf, right?
It was kind of her idea.
Were you taken aback at first when she brought it up? Can we talk about the Emmys of it all?
I mean, of course.
And don't give me the fake answer.
No, let me give you the real answer.
Upon further investigation, you're actually not hot.
Are you ready?
Yeah, you know what? I'm almost done with my makeup, but I figured it'd be part of the gig.
I think it'll be fun. I was actually hoping that, like that we could see. Yeah, I think I'll be cute. How are you? Oh my gosh! Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Tan goddess.
Am I tan?
Oh my god, yes.
Thank you.
Well, everyone's tanner than me, right? Give us the vampire swing.
I'm so happy that you're like mid-process because I feel like you're always so polished and put together.
Right.
This is like part of the fun. I was hoping that you weren't going to be like so perfect by the time
No,
I saw you.
I feel like it happened for a reason. I set my alarm at 8. I was like, I'm getting ready early today. I'm doing my wig. And then I wake up at 11. I'm like, why did this not go off?
Is this a Spice exclusive?
Yeah, definitely an exclusive.
Because you haven't done a Maddie Morphosis episode yet, right?
No, Sugar did that one. And I'm doing the better one. Here.
Yes! Oh my gosh. Were you nervous for today? Do you get nervous for interviews?
It's not that I was nervous. I was more so just, oh my god, like, what do I say? Because it's like, just back with the whole Drag Race circuit, I remember that's when I used to like read the comments and stuff. People would be like, oh my god, they can't even form a sentence. They're ADD. They can't even da-da-da-da-da. It kind of like got internalized into me, and then I would be like kind of afraid to just like say things, and I was like, oh, because like that's just my humor, like, and I'll talk fast, and I'll be like, oh, but I thought da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da, like that's, and then some people took that like seriously.
No, when you like first start getting into the public eye, you can become paralyzed by what people have to say, and then it's almost like muting you, and you are too scared to even speak because every word, everything you say can be misconstrued by somebody and twisted as something that you don't even mean it to be twisted into.
No, you're spilling with that. It's almost like you're talking or speaking. You're having like your haters in your back of your mind, already knowing what they're gonna say. But that's not a way to. That is so scary. You cannot live like that. You have to talk and like live your life as if you have like your number one fans that like love you and everything that you do.
I have been on a journey lately to find my scent. I actually have an ex-boyfriend from college over 10 years ago now, but when I randomly walk by somebody that wears the scent that he wore, I'm automatically just like transported back into that time and into that relationship. And the power of scent is just so interesting to me. When I think of the scent that I'm on the lookout for, I really like something more masculine and sexy and just like suave. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription that lets you pick a new designer fragrance every month for only $17. Designer fragrances can be so expensive, and sometimes the way they smell in the store is just different than the way they smell on your wrist after you've been wearing them for 4 hours or so. So Scentbird is great because you get to try all these different fragrances for so cheap. And with each fragrance, you're getting a 30-day supply, so you can really try out the fragrance before committing to a full bottle, which can sometimes run from $300 to $500. I picked out 4 of their scents to try, which look at how big they are. Like, they're very decent size. I got Guilty Pour Homme by Gucci. I got Get a Room by Confessions of a Rebel. Radio Bombay by DS and Durga. And my personal favorite, which is Padre by Malo. It smells like so woodsy and almost leathery and just like sexy, you know what I mean? Like I imagine myself like on a date and like at a wine bar. And it just smells so suave, and it's like literally exactly what I was looking for when it comes to a scent. If you're interested in trying Scentbird, use my code QUEERLIFE to get 55% off of your first month, which makes it just a little over $7 for your first month. Available in the United States and Canada. Thank you, Scentbird, so much for sponsoring this video, and now back to my interview with Spice. Thank you so much for doing this and for like taking the time to get into drag. You're actually the first queen that I've had on that took the time to get into drag for me, and it means so much because I know, especially for you, it's an art form and it takes a lot of time and energy and thought. Can you talk about your thought process into this?
Yeah, well, honestly, you told me, I was like, oh, baby, of course Miss Spice is gonna give you the full. I'm like delusional, so like in my mind, it's like when I look back at my favorite pop stars, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, like that was the fun thing about standing in them and getting into their world, because they would be in costume and they would be in the full look. So I sketched this look the other night when I realized, like, I was like, wait, I should have a fun outfit for this. And it just kind of came together. I got a $40 dress online. And this is one of my favorite looks. Honestly, I just moved in here 2 months ago. So, like, it's kind of a work in progress, but aren't we all?
Congratulations.
Right? Thank you.
Your first official place by yourself.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
It gets a little, like, lonely. But then when, you know, you connect to your spiritual self, you're like, well, all you really have is yourself. So you better get used to yourself and what's happening in your mind. So it's like you kind of just like have more free time to like tap in and like find out who you are.
When you first got announced that you were going to be joining RuPaul's Drag Race, what do you think the fan reaction was going to be, and what was the actual reaction?
Okay, I love that you brought this up because me and Sugar always talk about this. So when we got back from filming the show, we like everyone was like, the secret was out, I guess. Like everyone just knew. I was looking on Twitter and then I was looking on Reddit, everything. And I didn't, because at that point we had millions of followers, but we weren't talked about outside of our fan base. So I didn't really know how people like viewed us essentially. And then it was all these Drag Race fans. Like you would have thought that we like killed someone. Like I'm just someone that is an artist that wants to do drag, and they were like, oh my God, these white swings, they suck. They can't dance. They're not real drag. Like all the discourse. And I was like, damn, I guess you know you're that bitch when you cause all this conversation. I remember when we were cooking, we're like, oh, these people don't know shit. So like we were like, okay, let's get our promo looks ready. Like we started designing. We're like, it's like alchemy, you know what I mean? We're like, we're gonna take the negativity and like use it to benefit ourselves. So then we came back for the promo to shoot it in September, and all the girls were like, where did these queens come from? And like I just remember being so proud of those promo looks. And so when it got announced, we were expecting like backlash, but people were going crazy for it. Well, not crazy, but like the people that love it, and the haters were kind of quiet. And then we were like, oh, we shut the girls up.
I was thinking when the fan reaction came out, I felt like it was overly positive. I felt like the negativity maybe came from the other queens that were in your cast with you.
It was such a journey with those other queens because at first they didn't get us and all that. They ended up loving us and it was mutual. But then when the show started like airing, you have to kind of like relive that whole thing over again. So it was interesting.
Do you feel like they were just threatened by the followers and that kind of stuff? Like, and they didn't understand how to grasp this kind of a drag queen coming onto the show?
I mean, I think looking back, it's very obvious. Like, what's that saying? It's like, you're not gonna hate on someone that you think is below you. Like, there's no need for that. I don't know if you had this experience, but when you walk into a room and immediately you kind of feel an evil eye on you or just some sort of just people feeling threatened by you, my natural instinct is to act a fool and kind of distract them. So they're like, oh, they're kind of crazy. I can just kind of write them off. Now it's not my job to make anyone else feel uncomfortable. Like, baby girl, if I'm slaying, I'm not going to dumb myself down. That's my message. Don't dull yourself down to get other people to like you.
Are you close with the girls? Because when I did the Celine episode, I went to the Heart show and all the girls from your season performing, and you guys were not there. And then Golden Globes, you guys left early. Right. And I'm just like wondering what your thoughts are about the other girls in your cast, or why you guys feel, to me, just like detached from your cast.
Yeah. The Selena performance thing, I think I was just doing something that night, but also... I think it was I can't remember.
Right.
I can't remember. But it's funny because Selena, I actually love so much. And she was one of the girls that like we were kind of butting heads at first, but it was only on camera. And then the cameras went down, she took off the wig, and I saw the real person underneath. And I was like, oh my God, I love this person. The only girls I really talked to, like, but I love them all. Like, there's no, like, well, there's one or two rotten eggs, but but with Malaysia is the one that I really stay in touch with, and like we could FaceTime her later. I'm sure she's if she's not at Palace, but yeah,
I love her.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the Emmys of it all?
I mean, of course.
And don't give me the fake answer.
No, let me give you the real answer.
Hey, listen, thank you guys so much. Listen, Hollywood is a tough town, and for you guys to give us this much love, we are so appreciative. We've worked very hard for this, and we want to give that love back to you.
I'm thinking, I'm just in my own little delusional pop star world. I'm thinking that this is gonna be my Angelina Jolie moment on the red carpet, and we're all gonna get our own solo pictures. But then we got there, and we were kind of treated like cattle, kind of. I was like, is this TSA? Like, we're all lined up. I thought they were about to ask me to take off my shoes in a second. Like, it was just a lot of being like kind of carted around. And then once we got our pictures, they wanted us to sit in the audience, and we went there, and the seats were so low. And I was like, this isn't gonna work. And I was like, and I started, there was no AC. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even get my pictures yet, because we didn't even get solo pictures on the right. That's just how like my mind works. Like, and they already told them that they were gonna win the award, and they were like, well, you can go up. And I was like, it's fine. I don't, in my mind, I'm like, that's not my award. This is the show's award, you know? So I was like, there'll be other awards to be had. And then a month later, we won the Queerty. So we had our own award speech acceptance moment. So yeah, ended up working out.
Did the other girls feel a certain type of way about you guys leaving?
No, because you know what, there was queens that didn't even bother to show up anyway. They get it. We're very like, even after the promo day, that's when the queens started finally respecting us, because they saw the effort we put into it. After the full promo day, like 12-hour, 15-hour, however long it was, they were all de-dragging, and even though I was in so much pain, I was like, no, I can't de-drag because we have to get our TikTok video. We did a little like transformation video, and I was like, and that video ended up getting like 20 million views or whatever, but we knew, we're like, no, we got content for them. We need our own content, because that's just how my brain works. But yeah, I went on this like date. He had his friend there. It was more of like a hangout, and thank God, because I got there and he looked like his pictures. It's not that I was catfished.
Oh, you met online, like on
yeah. And I think it was Tinder. And then we met. He looked like his pictures, but I was catfished by his personality, because he seemed so like confident, and like I can tell a vibe. And then in real life, he was so like meek, and like, and I get it, like you could be nervous and stuff, but it was more than nervousness. Like I could just tell his like.
That's why dating app's so hard for me, because like guys I'd swipe on.
You don't know.
I don't know, and guys I'd swipe left on, I would be down for if I met them in real life, and it was like, oh, I love their vibe, I love their confidence, I love their energy. Like now they're sexy to me, even if I would have swiped left on them originally. You know what I mean?
You're spilling, because it's like you literally never know. But also it's just. Also, I learned from that because he asked for my Instagram the night before, and then I went to his, and then he was already following me. So then I was like, okay, I guess I'll follow him. I guess he knows me. But I think that was like, when I got there, I felt like, because it's like, when I put that, like, Spice is a character, anything online, even if I show me as a guy, like, that's still just a little bit, that's not the real me. So I felt like he had all these, like, he put me on a pedestal in a sense. So, like, we weren't able to connect as, like, real people, if that makes sense. Okay. Oh my God, no, it's coming together.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy. This is my favorite part, because, like, I sketched this the other day, and then to just see it come to life. Sometimes it takes me a second to get into it, because it's like, when you have the idea in your head, and then it's on, and then you're like, okay, wait, we have to get into this. But
Monetarily, has being on Drag Race helped you, or did the following that you had already, was that suffice enough?
I think it helped with getting us out to like an older audience, I guess. Like, of course there's young people that watch Drag Race, but the older people that weren't on TikTok, they might not have known who we are, of course. So I think it helped in that sense. But I think this is the thing about Drag Race that a lot of queens don't realize, and they'll be like, oh, I have to get on the show, and like I'll have a fan base, or oh, I have to go back on All Stars, and then I'm relevant again. But what they don't realize is that the fans of the show, they're fans of the show. Like, and I know this because I'm a fan of The Housewives, The Bachelor. Like, you don't really keep up with the people unless they're on that show. So it's almost kind of like a trick. It's like, oh, I'm going to invest all this money to do really well on the show, and people are going to love me. But what they're not realizing is that they're just going to move on to the next queens the next year. You invest all this money, and then you end up getting all these followers and bookings and like all this stuff, but then it kind of like cancels out because your drag gets elevated and you have to pay so much other people. So it's like, I feel like I was making the same, like, it's like the same. I don't know.
You also don't do the club gigs, do you? Isn't that a major part of how you make money?
Yes, exactly. So the way I truly, like, my main source of income is like the brand deals. So it's like, I always say work smarter, not harder. Most queens, they wouldn't do the the bar gigs if they didn't have to.
It's almost worked to your it completely has worked to your advantage that you and Sugar have learned the hustle of brand deals, of monetizing your social media, so that you don't have to go fly to Wichita, Kansas, or to Omaha, Nebraska for a weekend. And that's a hard hustle for those girls, and you don't have to do that because you've already built such a big following, and you know brands. You have a relationship with brands, I'm sure, so you can just get those brand deals and sit in the comfort of your own home. Do you have a manager or something leveraging your deals for you?
Yeah, we had this girl we've been working with for a couple years. So yeah, sickening.
And she's a brand manager?
Yeah, she finesses, and yeah.
I love that. Do you have an agency?
So yeah, we were signed to CAA, but they just never announced it. But
CAA, that's I mean, for people watching that don't know, this game, CAA is the top of the top.
Yeah, and it was a good experience. Like, it was for like a year, but yeah, we're just moving on to it. Sometimes it's just easier to just work for yourself and just have one person because they have your best interest. You know what I mean?
Well, and also CAA is so big that sometimes, even though you both are very big, but they have like Angela Jolie. So it's like sometimes you can get, if you're at a huge agency but you're kind of a lower tier person, you can get
not as smart. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I want to talk to you about monetarily was the fact that you and Sugar, if you're doing a brand deal, are having to split that.
Right.
You're getting views on YouTube, you're splitting that monetization. So everything's in half.
Right.
That can be stressful, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of like being in like a girl group, I guess. Like Fifth Harmony, like they had to split that shit up like 5 different ways probably. Yeah, like that's why it's fun to do different things now, like branching off by yourself. But it was easier to do it with someone because like we would do it and also she would edit it. And I'm like, okay, work. You can have your piece. Like, I don't feel like doing it, so get your money, girl.
But congratulations on, getting your own place and the decision to move in by yourself. Of course, you're going to read the fan responses and people love to pit a twin against each other, compare each other. Yeah. And I know I've watched, some interviews with you and Sugar, and it seemed like the impetus to separate a bit was on Sugar's behalf, right?
It wasn't real. It was more, I mean, she brought it up, but then I agreed. I was like, oh my, like now since moving into our own places, our relationship has been amazing because now we're not fighting over stupid stuff like who didn't take out the trash, like it was kind of her idea. And then I agreed and I was like, no, I used to be kind of like resistant to change, but now I'm embracing it.
Were you taken aback at first when she brought it up?
No, I mean, it just seemed like the next logical step. Like I was down for it. So
that's beautiful. And I think it is a good step for you guys to find your independence, and you're working on your music and she's working on her YouTube channel, it looks like a lot, so that's great to find your own individuality. I think it's interesting with twins because when you get into branding yourself as twins, you don't realize like this is gonna be our brand forever. Right. And then all of a sudden you get on Drag Race and you're like such a brand together and you're like, wait, stop, like I also want my independence, but like people don't want to see that as much. They want to see you guys together, Right.
That's why it's fun, like me working on my music, Sugar doing her YouTube channel, but we are working on a show like that's gonna be us together, and it's gonna be like the main Sugar and Spice vehicle. So all the people that want us together, do not worry, it's coming. And that's going to be fun because then that's us together and then we get to do our own little side project. So I think it's going to be a really full circle moment.
I saw a lot of people saying that they think you guys are using your fights as clickbait to bring views.
Right. I mean, we don't have to. I don't know if people know twins, but twins will fight. So like we do not have to use clickbait for that. But like work. I mean, honestly, I use everything for clickbait. I mean, I know, especially on YouTube Shorts, like I love it. Like I went to Home Depot the other day and I was just like trolling these straight men. And then like, I love making the title. Like we're like, no, more outrageous, make it crazier. We're like, drag queen gets hit on and harassed and da-da-da-da. Meanwhile, that didn't happen, but you click, so work.
No, literally, like, if you have title is so important.
Otherwise, people aren't gonna click. Like, I'm sorry, girl. Like, I can't just be like, drag queen had a pleasant time at Home Depot and was living her best life. Mm-hmm. Like, we're not clicking. I'm not clicking. So.
No, literally, we should film like little fake things for the trailer. Like, we're like, I didn't ask me that. And like, get it. Like, you know what? I'm done. Like, things like that.
Wait, what's that? Let me give you
Okay, yeah. Is it true that you think you're the better twin?
I mean, I didn't think we were gonna go there, but
was it true that Michelle Visage was talking to you guys?
I mean, yeah, like I think it's out there. I don't know if I ever told the full story, but yeah, after the show, Selena, we were becoming more friendly, and then I can't remember exactly what it was because it was a minute ago, but basically Selena was friends with Michelle's makeup artist that did her makeup on the show. And then like Selena saw her, I hope she doesn't mind me talking about this, but like, girl, it's whatever. No one cares. Selena said to Michelle's makeup artist, like, oh girl, like Michelle hated me. On the show, like it was at the summer after filming, and then the makeup artist was reassuring Selena. She was like, "Oh no, girl, like she doesn't hate you. She hates the twins." And then that's how I knew it was real, because I was like, "Why would that makeup artist randomly tell Selena that?" Like I get it, like if she was telling me, sometimes it's like you're skeptical, like, "Oh, are they just saying that because it's me?" But yeah, we found out that like with her makeup artist, like she had like a vendetta against us, like before we did the show. Like she, even during the Watch Back, and she said she watched our videos for years, so she had like this misconception and like all these preconceived notions about us, and she was ready to like go.
Okay, but my like rebuttal to that is if she watched you guys for years and clearly she's a fan, so wouldn't she know that like obviously you guys are enticing and interesting to watch?
I mean, I guess that's when people being threatened by like youth beauty talent success comes into play, I think.
Well, that's what's also interesting about Drag Race in particular is like, other than RuPaul, and RuPaul probably a little bit too, but like the Michelle or these other people, like they all are wanting to get followers too. They're all wanting to get these brand deals too.
I think that's what people don't realize. Like any judge on a show, it's like they're trying to have their sound bites and have their moment and get paid too. So I think she saw a perfect opportunity to come for the people that were already successful. But I don't know. At the end of the day, like, I don't know how she goes to bed at night, but for me, it's like, I know I'm uplifting people. I know the content, and people say it's a role that she put, whatever, but at the end of the day, the fourth wall isn't broken. Like, people watching that, they think that those are her real thoughts. So it doesn't matter if it's a character or not. She's still saying that. And a lot of the queens take to heart what she says, and it like eats them alive and stuff. So that's why now I don't give people the power to like tear me down. I'm like, girl, no. Like, I think highly of myself, and that's all that matters. If you don't, have a good day, but that's not my problem. Your problems with me are not my problem.
Hi, how are you? I was like, that's nice. How are you feeling?
I'm
Congratulations.
so excited.
I'm so happy for
Thank you. It's like my first solo performance. So, like, me and Sugar, we've done performances where both of us, it was like we were both on the bill, and then we would come out together, and then we would end up doing our own thing. But it is a different vibe when it's like, it's just you. Like, I was running late, so I just styled it. And I wanted to be right Xena, so I like layered in some red.
I love it. It's very dirty.
Yeah, and then I have, you know, all the drag queen tricks over here. And then we're pinning this one underneath, so it'll be black underneath. And it makes such a difference, because I'm like, you know what, we need all the help we can get with the illusion.
Yeah, because you're so like thin that you like really need to create.
I'm like, why not? I feel like that was like a thing back on like the Drag Race era of like Naomi Smalls and like Aquaria with like a flat chest. And like love. Like, I think
We're doing something
like
different.
If we're wearing all this makeup and hair, we might. What's the difference? Naturally, I'm a very like kind of codependent person. So then when it wasn't Sugar, then it was like my boyfriend, and then we were just always together, and that was a reason why I knew I had to be single for a while, and I probably won't be in a relationship for a while because it's just not, I just know how I am. And it's like, as a twin, I would just always, like, whenever I got shy or at a party, I would like put Sugar in front of me, or like I would make her do the stuff I didn't want to do. So we loved doing everything together, but also it was a hindrance to my own personal development.
Does it affect you ever, and I don't even know if this is true, but does it affect you ever when you start trying to have your solo stuff and everyone's like, oh, where's Sugar? Like, or the numbers, I don't know if the numbers are as good, but are the numbers as good if Sugar's not in it, or if you're not in her videos? Like, does that affect you, feeling like my worth isn't the same if I don't have somebody else with me?
No, for sure. But you know what? It more so affected me before we did the show, because even though we had all these followers, they only knew us together. So then, like, on my own personal Instagram and stuff, we would always joke, I'm like, I feel like people don't know who we are unless we're together. Like, they just think we're just, like, random, or, like, they can't recognize us. But even now, like, people don't get it. It's like, I don't get recognized. If I'm out of drag and, like, I'm just by myself, like, no one knows who I am. And I love it. It's like Hannah Montana. I'm just, like, a random twink, you know? But if we are together, that's when people will like make the connection, like, oh, those twins from TikTok.
Another thing I'm interested about with twins is the dating aspect.
Yes.
Because you meet a guy and they say, oh, you're so cute, But then that means they think that your sibling's cute too.
Yeah. And yeah.
So like, at what point are you like, you have to get to know me to make sure you like me as a person?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I completely get that, and no one talks about that, but that it helps now because we look different anyway. But I mean, I think with certain twins, like they're so alike. Do you know what I mean? So I guess that's a little trickier. But we're very different. So I feel like if a guy, I mean, we're similar vibes. So it's like if someone's attracted to a certain type, like maybe they would find us both attractive, but like we're gonna vibe with different people. So like, but even like with this one guy I was talking to, like Sugar saw my phone and she was like, oh, him. And I was like, what do you mean, oh, him? She was like, good luck with that. And I was like, oh, okay. So I guess but like, I don't know. I'm like, it just, but also just cause like she's maybe talked to someone in the past or I don't even care if they had a fucking makeout or whatever. I'm like, no, like I'm my own person. So like I'm gonna like if someone's giving me what I need energy wise, then I'm not gonna like I'm not like I wouldn't like if she's never been in a relationship, but like I wouldn't like go after her boyfriend or something. But like I think if it's just in passing, like she didn't say it wasn't anything serious, but like is that weird? But then I'm like, f it, whatever. You only live once. So.
Hi, are y'all here?
Yes, we're here.
Okay, work. Love, slay, work.
Oh my god!
Oh
Yes.
you look amazing.
Okay.
Hi,
Hi, so nice to meet you. Hi.
I want to do the drag race ranking one together.
No, we don't have time. We literally have to
Oh,
do that,
okay.
girl. No.
Well, I'll do it by myself because I'm
Well,
ready
what's
to
the drag
read some
race
nasty
ranking
drag
one?
queens.
How do you feel about it?
Oh, what? Drag queens?
Yeah.
It's giving projection. It's giving bored and broke on Twitter. Like, and I'm not even gonna be. Well, I'll be shady because you know what? Miss Sugar has to tap in because if they're coming for Miss Spice, then Miss Sugar has to come out. Girl, it's just giving bro. It's who has time. Superstars aren't on Twitter, babe. I'm sorry. It's like you're out here being a discourse doll, it's like. It's just not professional. It's like these new season girls, they come in and they were fans of us.
I'm like, wait till next year, girl. They're just hogs in the machine.
This is the gag about Drag Race and the new season girls. They come in and they think they're cunty and they're gonna try to read all the other girls. Babe, just wait until the bus leaves in a few months and they're on to the next season girls and your relevancy is done. And it's just not cute. You're coming for other professionals in your industry. Girl, what happens when I see you you just missed a networking opportunity. Like, these girls aren't smart.
Wait, so someone came for Spice? Is that what's going on?
Well, there was like, I don't even know their names. There were these ugly drag queens on Twitter trying to come for Spice. And I was like,
Oh, no.
Girl, no. But you know what it is?
Sure, whatever.
Yeah, God bless. God bless. I always have everything with God bless.
Can you help me pin my wig in? They finally call you because you're like, we're never gonna do it. It's never gonna be the right time. Never gonna be the perfect time.
Yeah. But like we just wanted to say that like we're gay, so
Well, why did you feel like you would have to tell me that over the phone or even in person?
because we just never
We
knew
were so
like
nervous and something came over us and we were like, why? We just have to tell her now.
What was your decision to do that on camera?
Us filming it was making us do it.
Did your mom feel a certain type of way about it being filmed?
She didn't know it was filmed until after a couple weeks later. We're like, oh, we think we should post this. Like, we think it could really help people. Like, it was such a great response. And then she was like, oh no, like, because even back then, like, she just, that was always the thing with our mom. She was always so supportive and she's so like liberal, loves the gays, all that stuff. But she just wasn't. So the gay thing, like, that was its own thing. Like, that was nothing. It was later on when the drama came, like, when we started doing drag.
I do want to get into the response to your drag that your mom had.
Yes.
So what was your journey into starting drag and how did your mom's reaction affect that?
So I think she would have been fine with us doing drag if it was in the comfort of our own house. And it was, but it was going out online. And, you know, she was prom queen. She has all her friends from school and stuff. So she's more concerned about what her friends are thinking and what they're seeing online. And, oh, my sons are dressing up in women's clothing online. So I get it. I put myself in her shoes. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to hold myself back and putting myself out there to propel myself into a better life just for your own comfort.
So you had overheard her say something, right?
Yeah, so that was when we started drag. But the first thing I knew when it was like bad to like dress in women's clothes, we did this video where we dressed in our sister's clothes for a week, dressing in our sister's clothes for a week because we were still like gay boy YouTubers before we even did drag. And she was so mad about that. And she called us up and like screaming and all this stuff. Like, oh my God, like, why are you doing that? And she kind of hit it as, I've never taught. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, is this like too personal? But like, I think it's a good story because eventually she came around to it and like she loves it now and she really supports us. But yeah, like looking back, it was such a different time because she was just wondering what her friends are going to think. I don't think she was that, I'm sure she was confused by it or just didn't get it, but I think she was really just concerned what other people thought, and maybe it was like a motherly thing, you want to protect your kids. But once she saw that, like, no, we're just talented artists, and like, you know, it's sad, like a lot of times parents, they won't really think what you do is good until they see it's like a money thing, or like they see that numbers or money, and like, you know, they want you to be, and I guess it's because they want you to be able to support yourself and stuff. But it's sad that like a lot of times like it gets so like analytical and like, okay, well, we can accept what you're doing if you're making money. It's like, but what if it was just a hobby? Like, you don't have to make money to be accepted.
I think that's what's hard about pursuing art, because so many times in art, like, you are not making a big income for a while, or you're placing so many bets in yourself, and your parents want you to take this 9-to-5 stability, you know, because it can make them sleep at night knowing that their kid can afford the rent and stuff. But like taking this route, it's very risky. But if you're an artist and you're passionate like you are, or like I am, or like some people are in this world, that you have to follow your passion, or else you're going to be living a life that a what if life, and you're going to look back on your life and think like, what if I really gave this my all? What if I had the courage to dress up in clothes and put myself on TikTok? Like, I don't ever want to live my life what if, you know?
I completely agree with that. I'd rather live a what if than like, oh, I should have, or like, oh, like, because I think people just think they're going to be young and fun and like for the rest of their life, but people's lot, like, I'm sure I'll be in my 40s and 50s soon enough. And like, if I looked back, I would hate if I looked back and be like, why didn't I take that chance? Who cares? It's like, it's always scary at first, but once you get over that hurdle, you can't go wrong. Like, I love that you said you follow your passion, because so many people, they come to this, they don't even know what their passion is. So if you could find that passion, go for it, because that's when everything is going to align and everything is just you're going to get on that momentum, and then it's over.
Just I don't know.
I have duck nails on.
I don't know where to. Tell me where to pin it.
Isaac.
I'm right here.
You're amazing. Oh, you have the fit.
No, but just tell me where to pin it. I don't know where.
Oh,
to pin
because you
it.
want
Like,
to hang her in the wig.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let me do it in the back.
Sweetie, you're
No,
in your
do
own
it behind
fantasy.
the
I'm the one
bump.
performing.
Like,
Uber's here, ladies.
Pin
What
her
should we do?
in.
Oh wait, Uber's okay.
Uber's here. I just need one more pin.
Don't forget, if you're interested in trying Scentbird, use my code QueerLife for 55% off of your first order, making the first month just a little over $7, and make sure to check out their links below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.